just bring you back quickly because, of course, if we can't live in cities without somebody telling us how it's to be done, we certainly can't look after our health. And more on COVID.
Yeah, I've talked, of course, a lot on this show about the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, and whether it's formally or informally invoked, it has the same effect. We've talked about 2 Michigan counties, and now we have Odessa, a city in Texas, kind of the northwest part of Texas, and that council voted to not enforce state or federal COVID mandates. And it shows Chris Haney, a city councilman, District 5. This is from CBS affiliate 7 in that part of Texas. Moving on from there, just a brief snippet here. This is from September 12. The city of Odessa voted not to enforce any mandates imposed nationally or by the state of Texas. The resolution was presented by City Council member Chris Haney. He says why and where we need to mask up is for individuals to decide. Nobody's going to lose a job because they don't get a stick, that is the jab, or they have to wear a mask, he said. He says Odessa is not seeing a rise in COVID cases. And there's a state rep, Brian Harrison, who was chief of staff of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under former President Trump. He partnered with the city of Odessa on this matter and said that Joe Biden and his administration are trying to bring back COVID tyranny for round 2. This, of course, is music to the ears of the WHO. And the city of Odessa, the last thing I'll note about this, is the first city apparently in the state of Texas to do this. So this may catch fire and become very viral. Now, moving on from there, this is an important reminder of something that I and others have been steadily reporting, and that is the perils that evidently await humankind with regards to the WHO developing and signing its COVID pandemic treaty, or the general pandemic treaty, including COVID, and the updated international health regulations. This is the most imminent thing happening. UN is set to agree on a new political declaration on pandemics next week, which is actually this week. In 4 days' time, actually in 2 days' time now, Wednesday, September 20th, our representatives in quotes, meeting at the UN will sign off on a declaration entitled Political Declaration of the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Meeting on Pandemic Prevention, Preparedness, and Response. This was announced as a silent procedure, meaning that states not responding will be deemed as supporting the text. And James Roguski, another watchdog on this, has talked about this. Countries that don't object, it will be assumed that they approve of these things. So it's very important for the public to make noise if they're so inclined, and then their representatives to make noise. And I mentioned the silent procedure. Another thing I'll add briefly, the WHO noted in 2019 that pandemics are rare and insignificant in terms of overall mortality over the last century. Since then, however, the WHO decided that the 2019 old normal population was simply oblivious to impending annihilation. Thus, the WHO and the entire UN system of which it's a part now considers pandemics as existential and imminent. And this matters because they are asking for far more money than is normally spent on any other international health program. That's our money. This will deliver great wealth to some people who now work closely with the WHO and the UN. That includes Big Pharma. The powers being sought from your government will reimpose the very responses that have just caused the largest growth in poverty and disease in our lifetimes. That's the lockdown primarily. And logically, pandemics will only become more frequent if someone intends to make them so. And just like those low emission zones being a big moneymaker, so too is the COVIDocracy and the preparation for the public mind of pandemics. So very interesting and vital things to watch. I'll make sure that in the show notes that there's other contact information, phone numbers, emails that people can use to find out how to get more involved if they're so inclined. So back to you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And of course, the key bit there is if you're silent, you're taken as agreeing. And this is one of the warnings that UK Column has pushed out really since we have been going. You cannot just be silent and allow these things to happen. You need to speak out.